break, break, break. This is a very interesting English poem written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This poem was first published in 1842 and it was written 9 years after the death of his dear friend Arthur Henry Hallam. This poem is considered to be an elegy. Elegy is a poem consisting the theme of lamentation. The poet actually laments over the loss of his dear and near one. In this poem, Break, 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 Tennyson laments over the death of his dear friend Arthur Henry Hallam. We should also know about the background of the poem. It means when and how the poem was composed by the poet. This poem was composed in Lincolnshire Lane at 5 o'clock in the morning. The imagined scene of the poem seems to be Clevedon on the Bristol Channel, where Hallam, the poet's friend, was buried. Let us explain the poem line by line. Break, break, break. This is the opening line of the poem. The poet here bids the sea to dash on the stones which are lying on the seesaw. 3 strong accents on the word break reproduces the sound of the sea breaking on the grey stones. Another important line is on thy cold grey stones, O sea. O sea. In this phrase, sea is addressed by the poet to break or to strike on the grey stones. Thy means of the sea. Cold refers to the cold water of the sea. The stones are always washed away by the cold water. The word grey suggests the discolored or the old age of the stones. It suggests that the stones are there for a long time. It also means that the wash of the waves has made the color of the stones grey. Next sentence, I would that my tongue could utter. Here, I would means I wish. The poet actually desires to express his words. This is suggested by my tongue. So the poet desires to express the intense feeling in his mind. Intense emotion sometimes prevents a man from expressing himself in words. This happens to the poet also. And I would that my tongue could utter the thoughts that arise in me. Here thoughts means emotions or the feelings. The poet speaks of his own emotion or feelings of his mind after his dear friend departed from life. So, the first stanza of the poem had set up the construction of the whole poem. The poet notices the sea breaking upon Cliff churchyard where his friend Hallam lies buried. He actually expresses the sorrow that fills his heart. In the second stanza, the first line is, "Oh, well for the fisherman's boy." that he shouts with his sister at play. The poet now speaks of the fisherman's boy. The boy shouts in joy with his sister and they are playing. We will give stress on the word well. Well means good or goodness is referred here. It is good for the fisherman's boy because he is in happiness. It is well for the boy, not for the poet. The boy doesn't know what lies in future for him. Next, oh well for the sailor lad that he sings in his boat on the bay. Another reference is here about a sailor's lad, sailor's boy. He sings merrily in his boat on the bay. Now, the poet in the second stanza is speaking about the happiness of the fisherman's boy and sailor's lad, because the poet is expressing his sadness in contrast to the happiness of the fisherman's boy and the sailor's lad. In contrast with the jollity of these two boys, the poet feels sorrow at the remembrance of his dear friend Arthur Henry Hallam. The third stanza. And the stately ships go on to their haven under the hill, but oh, for the touch of a vanished hand and the sound of a voice that is still. This is very important stanza. First line, and stately ships go on. It refers to the big size of the ships. Stately, the word stately means magnificent. The ships are big in size and beautiful to look at. The word haven suggests the port or shelter and hill suggests the shore. The ships, who are very big and beautiful, are sailing towards the ports for protection from storm at night and also during the storm and bad time. But oh, for the touch of a vanished hand and the sound of a voice that is still. In these lines, the poet speaks of the touch of the hand of his friend Hallam. His hand is vanished because he is dead. The poet doesn't get the feeling or the touch as he is dead. He also doesn't get the sound of the voice which has become quiet or still after his death. So, in the third stanza, Tennyson is expressing his intense grief for the loss of his dear friend Hallam amidst the calm and indifferent nature. Majestic ships run their course in the usual way and reach the port. The movement of the ships on the high seas is not the least affected by the death of the poet's friend. Nature is indifferent to human sorrow, though the poet is overwhelmed with the tragedy of his dear friend. The poet is actually very keen for the warm touch of the poet's friend. He wants to hear the music of his voice, but death has closed the opportunity. Break, break, break. In the fourth stanza, the first line of the poem has been repeated, and this is repetitions of the same interpretation, the same thought that these words express the lamentation of the poet. This line also suggests the strike of the waves on the stones. Here, the poet is speaking about the foot of thy crags. The foot of thy crags, O sea, at the bottom of the rocks of the cliff. This crags means the bottom of the rocks of the cliff. Here the sea waves should strike now at the rocks of the cliff. And in the last line, but the tender grace of a day that is dead will never come back to me. Here the poet refers to the past days spent with his friend. Here the poet is telling us that tender means kind-hearted and grace means beautiful. This is reference to his old or the past days when his favorite or dear friend Arthur Henry Hallam was alive. He says that those days, those moments will never come back to him again. So in the fourth stanza, the poet sees the sea breaking against the cliff and it suggests his mournful thoughts and emotions. He wants to express the idea that nature is uniform. Everything in nature does the same thing from the time of creation and it will continue to do so until the end of the time will work. The sea is dashing against the rocks and it will continue without any change. But human beings cannot follow their course. Their scope is limited by time and space. Time has changed. The sweet memory of the days with his dear friend has gone forever. Time has snatched away those days, those happy memories, and he will only find in his memory and it will give him pain. So, the whole poem gives the presentations of the sorrowful poet standing pensive amidst the ordinary activities of nature and human life. So this is all about the poem Break, Break, Break. A critical appreciation of this poem in the form of the written notes is available in our website www.eduforin.com, which is given in the description box. I think that this will surely interest you. If you are benefited, please subscribe our channel and comment and share our videos. Thank you very much.